Are you recording video or no?
Yeah, everything. Yeah, it'll be on YouTube and it's actually recording now. It'll be on YouTube, and then on the Anchor app also. Should be able to, drag and drop the file into the Anchor app to put it on the actual podcast. So
Okay.
there we go. So what's up, everybody? It's your man Danelle, aka Small Guy Promotions, aka the Omaha Fatty, coming to you with another podcast episode of What's Up Omaha. And I got my man Pat Stillwagon, not in the building. He's in his building, his home. I wanted to get Pat on the podcast because, well, he's a friend. Number one, we've been friends since like, high school.
Middle school.
Yeah, it's been middle school. Yeah, 8th grade, 9th grade.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
But yeah, man, Pat, you worked for the post office for like, man, it was almost 20 years.
I just passed my 16-year anniversary last week.
Nice. Congratulations, man. I remember way back in the day, I was looking for a job. I was like, well, maybe I don't know. It was like a long application. I don't think they were hiring back then.
Yeah, it's way different now, man. It's when I got hired, I had to show up to a Holiday Inn with like 1,000 people and take a test.
Oh man, that's crazy.
And I had to wait 3 years from the time that I took the test before I got a letter saying, "Hey, we want to interview you."
I do remember you saying that.
It was a long process.
Isn't it like it's not just for like the post office, right? Like postal workers, like it's for like state or something, right? Like that test?
No, it's way different now. I don't know. But when I showed up, it was all the jobs in the post office. Window clerks, people working in the back, custodians, pretty much anything. And so I just happened to be the first one they called me or sent the letter for was letter carrier. So I took the jump and here I am.
16 years later, man, that's crazy.
16, yeah.
Like when you look at it, like, I mean, it probably doesn't feel like 16 years, but when you look back at it, it's like, dang, man, it's so crazy. Like, yeah, I know I've been at Ameritrade. Well, at the end of this month, it'll be officially 12 years. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Does that include your temp time or is that?
No, that'll be actual full-time associate.
Because you were there for a couple years as a temp too, right?
No, it was only 4 months.
Or contract. I
started in December.
Oh, okay. I thought it was. Okay.
Yeah, and they rolled us over back then, so got rolled over in April of, was it April 28th? I think.
That's coming up.
Yeah, so day after my dad's birthday, man.
Coming up.
Yeah. So, but yeah, man. So working for the post office, of course, it's like that's a tough job, man. I was thinking earlier, and I was like, they're gonna have to change the motto, man. It's gonna be like rain, snow, sleet, pandemic. Like,
yeah, it's an interesting time for sure right now.
Like, you guys got to take precautions with like gloves and all that, or like?
Yeah, they finally got us some gloves within the last week or so, maybe 2 weeks, somewhere in there. Finally got us some masks to wear this last week, and they had trouble getting hand sanitizer. So what they did, I guess, is about 3 weeks ago, they got a 55-gallon drum and then bottled it up in little like shampoo bottles for us.
Yeah.
And handed those out. And then somehow they made their own like Clorox wipe type things. So they put like 5 in a little Ziploc bag and hand those out so that you're not taking a ton. Just use them to wipe our trucks down.
Right.
Door handles, steering wheels, parking brakes, gear shifter, that kind of thing.
You get
wipe down our work area.
You get the same truck every day, or how's that work?
Yeah, as long as there's nothing that maintenance would have had to take your truck for, such as like broke down or, they take them in and do oil changes and things like that. But otherwise, it's the same truck every day for me.
Right.
Same truck every day.
Got that seniority.
Well, it's usually the truck is assigned to the route.
Oh, okay.
So since I do the same route every day, I get the same truck every day.
Nice. I know, I can't remember when it was, but weren't you like helping out with a different route or something like that a little while back?
Um, so when I first got hired, that was kind of like a fill-in sub. They just fill me in wherever. The guy take a day off, or this guy had more than 8 hours of mail to carry, so I'd take a little bit off of him to get him down to 8 hours. And I did that for actually, luckily, like 11 months, and then I made regular and got a permanent assignment in March of 2005. And so my first permanent assignment was to cover the regular guy's day off. So I had a set of 5 routes that I did. I did the same 5 routes every week in the same order and just cover the regular guy's day off. And so I did that for like 2 or 3 years, like to try to get, and have as my own. And so I did that.
Yeah.
I got my own route. It would have been like May of 2008, I think, when I got my own route. Then I was on that for 8 years, and then decided I wanted to change the scenery, got a different route in a different station, different part of town. And then I did that route for almost 2 years, and then I got my route, and I've been on it since since Memorial Day weekend of 2017.
Nice. So is it like, does it go off of like tenure? Like, do you have to like put a bid in or something for your?
Yeah, everything is seniority. So when a route becomes open because somebody left to go to a different route, or they retired or quit for whatever reason, basically there's about once a month the sheet goes around, or you can go online and look and see what's open if you're looking for a change. And then if you find something you like, you put the code in or the name in or whatever. And then after it's open for a certain amount of time, 2 weeks or 20 days, something like that. And then after that time is, whoever's got this highest seniority that wanted that route gets it.
Right on. These kids, man. Hey, I'm trying to work here.
Send them to bed. It's late.
We're doing eggs, so.
Oh, coloring Easter eggs?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mitzi baked like all day. She made like 2 pies, made a cake. So like she's been busy doing that stuff all day. So they didn't really have time earlier to get the eggs done. Like she made the eggs. They just need to color them now. So that's what they're doing.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, my bad.
That's all right.
Yeah. So I was saying that was part of the reason being a friend. It's cool to have friends on the podcast, but also with all the stuff that's going on. Like, not only are you in a job where you're like an essential personnel employee, but Kristen, your wife, also is. She works at a hospital. So how's that working for you guys so far? Like, is it pretty stressful?
It's kind of funny. Actually, just yesterday, this guy, I pull up to his apartments to hop out and deliver the mail, and this guy is working on his truck. He goes, "I just want to tell you thanks. You're on the front line, and thanks for showing up and doing your job and stuff." And I go, "Man, to me, this is nothing." I said, my wife is an emergency room nurse, and to me, I'm just showing up and doing my job every day. To me, she's the one on the front line and really in it right now.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Well, from an outsider looking in, you're also on the front line, showing up to everybody's house every day and coming into contact with who knows how many people."
Yeah.
He goes, "So I just want to tell you thank you." And he goes, "Make sure you tell your wife thank you too." And so I did, and she laughed when I told her. But it hasn't really hit bad here yet. So to me, I'm just doing my job. I do go into a lot of public buildings to deliver. Most of them are actually closed to the public right now.
Yeah.
But usually it would be public buildings. Um, so I'm not. They don't really give us well, we're not required to wear the gear. They give us the gloves and the mask and stuff. And so I've been wearing the mask when I go out into public buildings where I'm going to come into contact with other people.
Right.
I just have my babysitter made it's like a cloth mask.
Yeah.
Basically, if I'm sick and I don't know it, just to keep me from spreading it around, and on the off chance that it might prevent somebody else who's sick getting me sick. But I deliver mail at I don't know if you would call it an old folks home or like a retirement apartments maybe. Most of the people, all the people that live there are older.
Yeah.
So I always make sure to wear the mask when I go in there in case I come into contact with somebody who's elderly,
right,
and who might have some conditions, But then it's a new habit to get into because it's hot wearing that thing and it can't breathe very well.
Yeah.
And so I just try to, like today I caught myself, I need to put this on if I'm going to go into, I got a veterinary office and, a couple insurance offices and some lawyers. And I always try to remember, but sometimes I forget because it's a new habit I got to learn, so I wear it when I go in, take it off when I come back out of the truck, get some fresh air and some deep breaths and unfog my sunglasses, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's and I don't wear the gloves when I deliver because we don't have a lot of gloves to go around enough that I could change them 5-6 times a day.
Right.
But I find I'm better off just washing my hands as often as I can.
Yeah.
Any chance I go into a place where I can go into the bathroom, I always wash my hands. And then we've got the hand sanitizer, so I put that on a lot.
Yep. Yeah, I stay with hand sanitizer.
You always have, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't change. It doesn't change my routine.
You're the only person I ever know that would go into a restaurant and after you look at the menu and order, then you give the menu back to the waiter, waitress, and then put the hand sanitizer. I'd never seen that before. Never thought about it even.
Yeah. Oh, I don't. It's crazy, man. I don't even know. Like, it's not even always been like that. It gets worse as I get older, I guess. I don't even know, man. I couldn't tell you one thing that started me doing that type of stuff. I just remember in like high school, or like right after high school, like people thinking like I was a germaphobe or something. I was like, man, I'm not a germaphobe, man. I always used to say I'm a nastyophobe because I just see people doing nasty stuff, and I'm like, I gotta wash my hands or do something. Like, so that's the only thing that I remember that started me. That, and it's just like as I get older, there's more things that I've noticed. I'm just like, okay, I'm not doing it. Like 2 days.
You're not kidding, man. So there was that picture going around the internet a couple of maybe 2 weeks ago or so, and it was this girl who's pumping gas, but she's digging in the back of her pants, and it says, "This is who you're pumping gas after," or something like that. And people that use the bathroom and don't wash their hands afterwards.
Oh man, I see that.
It's so disgusting. But you think, you're not like that, so you wouldn't think that nobody else is like that. So you don't need to hand sanitize every 15 minutes or, but man, it's just, it's nuts that it's like people have to learn, I've got to wash my hands so I don't get sick, not worried about spreading germs or anything like that. It's just.
I tell you what, man, being at a place with a bunch of employees, like, and this is something that I've talked about, like, often because there's not a week that goes by when I'm at work. Like, I'm happy to be working from home, but I always notice someone will go into the stall and come out and not wash their hands, not even hand sanitize. Like, they will just straight up, like, you'll be at the urinal or something, and you don't see them, you hear them like come out of the stall, and then they just, like, you don't hear the sink at all. Like, they leave, and it's like, bro. So I'm using, like,
and you're trying to see who that was, so you don't go out and touch anything that they touch.
Yep, dude. I've seen years ago. There was like we have a lot of international people who work there, and I went to the restroom, and this dude like left out of the restroom without washing his hands. He might have been like like Indian or something. Like I'm not sure, but he straight up like when I washed my hands and I left the restroom, I went to the break room. And he was the first person I saw in the break room getting coffee. Like after he just, I'm like, bro, that's so like I should be able to report you or something. Like that's nasty. Like
Yeah, and I'm always careful, like when the food days come
yep,
around, if I'm not reaching into a bag of chips because I don't know who, unless I'm the first one to open the bag of chips
yep,
or that kind of thing.
yep. I don't even
Just
do food days anymore. Like and it's got to be something that like from somebody that I trust. If somebody like, oh, you should try this, I'm like, eh. But if it's somebody that I'm like, I think they're all right, and I don't see anyone do anything, I might try something. But a lot of times, or if it's something that they buy from a store, like donuts, or
yeah,
something, and I don't see anybody else touch any of them, like I'll grab one. But sometimes I don't even do that because I'm just like,
you ever seen people do the donut move, man, where they cut the donut in half because they don't want to take the whole thing?
all the time.
Nobody's gonna eat that other half a donut.
All the time. Like, dude, there was there was a lady at work who she picked a donut up one time. Like, she was like moving them around to decide which one she wanted. Like, why are you touching the ones that you don't want? Like, that, yeah.
No, no.
There's like, and that's a lot of it too, man. People at work, like, this lady was helping. It was another food day type of setup, but they were making their own uh, ice cream sandwiches with like chocolate chip cookies. And there was like the assistant manager and the helper like making the cookies. And the helper, she got like some chocolate or some ice cream or something on her finger, and she licked her finger, but kept
No.
making this. And then they were like, Danelle, you want one? And I was like, nah, I'm good. Like, nah, I'm okay. And then I told like the assistant manager what happened. She's like, oh, you can make your own if you want. You don't have to. I was like, yeah, I'll make my own. Like,
Yeah.
don't make mine, please.
And um, it's that there was that one time I ate at that restaurant. I don't know if you want me to name that
Yeah,
restaurant.
I don't care. Yeah.
I mean, it happened. One time I was eating at Applebee's, and I was in the bathroom using the restroom, washing my hands, and the manager came out of the stall, walked right out the door, started taking food right to the table. I don't know if he went in the kitchen and washed their hand. I think most kitchens have a sink, but you should still wash your hands before you touch the door.
Yeah.
And touch the sink in the kitchen. So I sent them an email or went online or something, and they did send me some coupons and we used them. But I just felt like if someone was carrying my plate that hadn't washed their hands, I would want to know.
Yep. Well, that's like, I told you, Red Robin, man. Like, I haven't eaten at Red Robin since, but it's funny because the girls like going there. So they've gone there recently, but I'm like, I still will never go there again, probably after seeing that.
Traumatized. You got PTSD.
Yeah, man. Well, it wasn't even the fact just that the dude, like, came out of the restroom when I washed his hands. It's when I said something to the manager. He was like, oh, he washed his hands when he got back in to the kitchen. Like, he always does that. Like, that's not okay, bro. And he was like, it's a language barrier because like the guy didn't speak like good English, I guess, or something. I'm like, that's not acceptable, bro. Like,
no, it's get somebody who can explain it to him why we have to do it, or he shouldn't.
Yeah.
That's not a rule that's going to hurt him. It's going to hurt someone else.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of turnover in those type of places, and that guy's probably not even.
I'm sure.
I'm just like, every time I think about going there, I'm like, nah, I can't do it. Okay, out of sight, out of mind. But like, I saw that, so I can't do it. So I don't know. But anyway, back to what you guys are changing up and stuff, man. Like, is Kristen like stuck at the hospital most of the time and like?
It hasn't hit bad here yet, so she's still doing her regular shift. 3/12s a week. So it's business as usual as far as that goes. She's taking extra precautions as far as like. So she would wear a set of clothes to work.
Oh, I saw her post about being allergic to some stuff.
Yeah, so she was. I guess she was wearing clean scrubs to work, and then she would work her shift, change into some clean clothes. Well, I guess at first she was coming home, stripping down in the garage. Our washing machine is right inside the garage door. Clothes would go right into the wash, and she would go right up to take a shower. So she did that for a couple of days, and then she thought about maybe I should bring clean clothes to change into after my shift so I don't contaminate my car. So she had been doing that. She would wear her clean scrubs to work, and then change her clothes at work before she gets into her car, and then come home, strip out of those clothes, plus her work clothes goes right in the washer. She'd go right up to the shower. Well, they had kind of fought for some. They had fought about getting hospital issued scrubs so that they could leave them at the hospital, and so they finally got those approved, or got up where she could wear her clothes to the hospital, change into hospital scrubs, change out of the hospital scrubs into clean clothes. But apparently she's allergic to like the soap or something that they wash those in.
Yeah.
Because she came home the other day and it looked like she was sunburned. Like her legs were all red and her arms and stuff, just where the scrubs would have touched. So she talked to her allergy doctor and got it approved where she can bring them home to wash them in our soap. So that's hopefully will help. That we haven't really that's new for us.
Yeah.
So that should hopefully alleviate the allergy issue.
Yeah.
But so they're just, going to work every day and, hoping that they don't get it, or that they have enough equipment to keep them from getting it if they encounter somebody that's got it. Or
right.
I just saw an article in the paper today that there have been 4 patients that came through there and 2 employees that had got it, but not from the patients. They had got it somewhere else.
Yeah.
So it's here, and hopefully it won't make its way around the hospital.
Well, I tell you what, man, I don't know how much you have been going out aside from work, but like we had like 9 or 10 rolls of toilet paper left, and that'll last us, weeks or whatever, But Mitzi had been kind of like worried about having enough toilet paper. So before it was like, okay, if we see it, we'll get some. We hadn't really seen any. She went out yesterday to get some, and there was none. So I went to Sam's Club today to try to get some, and I saw people rolling around with carts with bath tissues, and I was like, cool. They obviously have toilet paper, and I go back there and there's none. So I must have like just missed it or something. So then I'm like, well,
you got to sneak around and look for someone who's got it in their cart but isn't watching their cart, so you could snatch it and grab.
Man, and I got scan and go too. That's probably what I should have did. I should just scanned it and I dipped out. But like, funny story. I made a couple of videos about my adventures today. So
did you? Okay. On Instagram or Facebook?
I posted them on Twitter and TikTok so far. I haven't posted them on Facebook or Instagram yet.
All right, I'll have to look on Twitter. I don't have TikTok, but I'll look for them on Twitter.
Yeah, I'll post it on Instagram and stuff too. But like,
so the signs of coronavirus is diarrhea.
Yeah, I did think that. Yeah, man, it's crazy because like, dude, I just don't understand it. Like, why toilet paper? Why?
I think it's way back when it started. People were worried about having to be shut in the house for 2 weeks. I think this is my thought on that. So they said, oh man, we need toilet paper. So they started buying up all the toilet paper. Now everybody is now at the point where, oh crap, if I don't hoard the toilet paper, I'm not going to be able to get it when I need it. So now it's just created a vicious cycle of everybody's hoarding it.
Yeah.
We're pretty okay here. So we went on spring break. It would have been the week of St. Patrick's Day. Your kids are on the same schedule as mine. So when we went on spring break, we went to Houston. Kristen's sister lives in Houston. So we had already planned on going down there. So we went, and like the day before, maybe 2 days before we went, I was at Target getting something, and I just happened to see the toilet paper had already started to like be bought up at this time. but Target had one package. It was a big package of the kind that we like.
Yeah.
So I grabbed that. I said, well, we don't need it yet, but we're going to need it. And, you know, this was like March 12th or 13th or something like that. And so brother he's a manager at, let's say a pharmacy / drugstore.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to get him in trouble, but
Yeah.
so he texted me and said, hey, we're getting a truck tomorrow. Is there anything you need? I said, okay, we need toilet paper. If you can get it, we need wipes. We need Tylenol, because at the time, Tylenol was a thing that they were saying if you get it, you give Tylenol to bring the fever down. And then there was one more thing I think we had him get. And he says, hey, I was able to get everything for you. I was only able to get one package of toilet paper. That's all they would let him buy. So we had that. I think that was like a 9-roll thing. And then I think the one I had bought at Target was like 15 rolls or something. So we were pretty good. We still have about a dozen rolls left. We got 5 people in my family.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know how you know, probably a week's worth, maybe 2 weeks worth of toilet paper. But everybody's spending a lot more time at home now too.
Yep. That's the thing. I was thinking. I was like, I wonder how many people gonna get fired for stealing toilet paper from their job.
That's what Kristen just said.
No, you poop at work.
And so yesterday she sent me a picture, and it was a package of toilet paper. Our neighbor had been I think she was at Walmart, and said, hey, they've got toilet paper. So she bought us a pack and then threw it on our porch.
Nice.
You know, not the kind that we like, but if we get in a pinch, you know, it'll work.
Yeah.
And so I tried to give them some money for it today, and they wouldn't take it. I'm like, hey, all right.
Yeah. It's funny, man, because like, so, you know, like I said, Sam's Club, we just get the members mark, whatever, you know, the big pack at member, you know, at Sam's Club. So that's what was gone. Then when I get back to my car, there's this dude. I don't know what's up. I'm running into people who don't speak English well. I don't know, but he. So the video that I made was once I got back in the car, because this dude had a thing of toilet paper in his cart, and he was asking me specifically about the toilet paper because for some reason he had 2 different receipts, and there were supposed to be like 6 items on each receipt. Well, they scanned the toilet paper on each receipt, on each transaction. But
So you had double.
well, they voided it out though on one, but he couldn't understand that it was voided out.
Okay.
So like he's parked right next to me, and I'm trying to get him a car. He's like, excuse me, like, and he's telling me like he's counting the items in the cart and like trying to tell me that that's how many items should be on the receipt. And I'm like, oh, so of course he's like close to me because he's trying to show me the receipt, and I'm like,
Oh man, you're like, come on, back up.
Come on, man. So then I'm telling him, I'm like, well, this one is voided out, and he's still not
That's
understanding.
not a word that he knows, probably.
Yeah. So there was a lady who works at Sam's Club who was talking to someone in the parking lot. Then she came over. He like signaled to her, and like she helped him. And I was just like, okay, whatever. But I'm like, dude, you know, I should have charged him like a toilet paper tax or something. You know. So then like what I do, and you know, maybe this will start coming when it does hit Nebraska harder. But like, dude, I was so confused by people when I went to Walmart afterwards. There were so many people at Walmart, man, like groups of adults together. And I'm like, I don't understand why you guys are all out shopping. Like you would have thought it was a regular day, just out shopping.
So I went to Walmart. The only place I've been since this happened is either to pick up food from somewhere. We got street tacos from Mula last night. I don't know if you ever ate there or not, but it's margaritas in a little pouch, like a
I've been seeing photos.
So we got that last night. So I've been to pick up food, like takeout, you know, helping out the local places, and then to the grocery store, you know, anything like that. So I went to Walmart today after work, and I had my mask. I was going to wear it, and I forgot it in the truck. You know, it's a new habit everybody's got to learn. So I had a few things in the cart, and I realized, oh man, I saw somebody in a mask. And, oh man, I forgot my mask. Well, I don't really want to go all the way back out, because it was busy. So I had to park far away.
Yep.
So I said, okay, I'll just grab my things and go. I was
You
only going to buy it.
You go to the Walmart by our house, like in our down the street.
Yep.
For those of you who will see this or hear this, Pat and I live not too far from each other, so yeah, we're around the same area.
Yeah, you could roll a ball down the hill, and it would probably almost get to my house.
Yeah.
So I was only going to buy a few things. I just a few things for dinner tonight, and Easter stuff for tomorrow, and I thought, well, I'm here. I should buy, enough to get us by so I don't have to come back. So I ended up buying a whole cart full of stuff, frozen stuff, and, so. But yeah, I saw lots of families walking around today together, moms and dads or boyfriends and girlfriends and their kids or something, leave them at home or leave them in the car,
Yeah, that's exactly what I said, man. Like Mitzi saw what seemed to be a husband and wife and two teenagers last week at the store when she went. And it's just like, bro, like, are you guys not? Those will be the same people that are complaining that rickets or whatever mandates that everyone stays at home. Those same people will be the people complaining, but they don't know how to follow rules. Like,
yeah, so I spend a lot of time on social media and stuff, and I always see people complaining about you're killing the economy, or I need things to do. I'm bored. I got to go to Home Depot and get my paint, and so I can paint a room. And man, I want to comment to every one of those people, but you can't fight the internet. You can't fight everybody on the internet. But
you spend so much time.
Those people, that's fine if you want to do that, but don't come to the emergency room and get my wife sick and have her bring that stuff home and get the rest of us sick. Yeah. Those of us that followed the rules or followed the suggestions and only went out when we absolutely had to, you may not get sick or may not get real sick or whatever, but I got two kids with serious asthma issues, So if she gets sick or if I get sick, we've come up with a plan. We're going to go to the basement and be away from the family if one of us was to get sick. We've kind of talked to the kids. We've got small kids, 9, 5, and 3. So one of them kind of gets it, and the other two are just kind of, we can't go anywhere because of the virus. That's what they think. So we're doing what we're supposed to do, and it's would not be fair to us if you were to go out and not follow the rules and get sick from somebody else who else is also not following the rules, and then you go spread that around to me at the grocery store, or you picking up food, or whatever. So it just makes me so mad that people don't think about anybody but themselves.
Yeah.
And it's
and I gotta be honest too. Like when it first came out, like I don't know, before anything was about people needing to stay at home, when they were still talking about groups of 200 or whatever, groups of 50. Like we had a foodie night. We went out.
I heard you talking about that. I was catching up on some podcasts today, and I heard you talking about the foodie night.
Yeah.
Somebody that was there at the restaurant left because a group of you guys showed up. Is that what happened?
No. It was somebody. They were the only person there. They just happened to leave.
Oh, okay.
No, but like, so I was still like, whatever. And then I was like, I'm not changing anything that I'm doing. Like, I'm not gonna stop going to jujitsu and stuff.
Yeah.
Bro, I haven't been to jujitsu in like 3 weeks. Like,
yeah,
killing me. Like, but at first, like, I had people telling me, oh, you shouldn't go out. I'm like, man, I'm going out. Like, then I was
is your dojo even open anymore, or do they?
They're still open, which I don't really. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how many people were going to class. I know it had died down initially. Like I went to one class because I have these old paper masks that I have like from like probably 13 years ago, man, 12 years ago. I don't even know. We just had them in the closet from one time when somebody must have been sick or something. And I went to the dojo and I took a picture. I was like, photo op. So I took a picture with a mask on. I was like, when coronavirus hits, but jujitsu is, like life or something like that. I don't know. And I was like, yeah, man, I'm still gonna go. But then after that, I was like, you know what? Like you just said, man, like it's not just about me. Like, what about the kids? What if I get sick and like I bring it home? Like, that's not a risk that I'm willing to take. And jujitsu
I'm
was.
surprised that they're still open. They had Haley's real big into gymnastics. Like she would go 3 times a week to her gym.
Yeah.
And originally they had thought about, okay, we're gonna cut class time, cut like 10 minutes off of class time and spend the last 10 minutes of class like cleaning up in between your kids, so that the next group, they were going to cut to like 5 kids or 10 kids or something in each class, and then spend the last 10 minutes sanitizing everything. And then I was even nervous about that, and I wasn't real thrilled about her going to do that. And then eventually they just said, forget it, we're closing.
Yeah.
I know Kristen's gym, she goes to a kickboxing gym, and they've closed. Our regular gym that we both belong to, also they're closed. My son, the 3-year-old, he was in swim lessons, they've closed. So I'm surprised that the dojo is still open.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of places, I guess, are still open. I just saw in a KMTV3 story with Bob's Gym down there in South Road that they're still open, and they get random checks by Bellevue Police Department. They will go in there and check and make sure that everybody's abiding by the rules and they don't have more than 10 people or whatever. And they said it's all on the up and up. Like people, Bellevue Police actually have a key fob to get in, so they don't have to like get up the door unlocked or anything. They can just go in at any time and check and make sure that everybody's following the rules, and they haven't had any issues so far. So I don't know, it's kind of crazy. Like Bob was saying that they have certain like equipment blocked off, so only one person can be in an area and stuff. So I don't know.
It's weird because like unless at the jiu-jitsu you're not practicing holds and throws and that kind of thing.
That's all we do.
I know, but they made the salons close and the massage places closed, tattoo shops closed, because you couldn't maintain that 6-foot distance.
Yeah, Mitzi's not working.
Those services. Yeah, I know.
So
I don't know how that jiu-jitsu is getting away with it.
I don't know, man.
Maybe they're just gonna fight, until they come and shut them down.
Maybe, I'm not sure. They. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't been. I know people are going. Like I said, I don't know how much, because usually we take pictures after every class. I haven't really seen any pictures recently, so it might only be a couple people. I'm not sure, but like, as much as I want to go, I can't, man. And then when you think about it, like I was talking about wanting to go, and one of the guys who goes, he works at the hospital, and he was like, man, I gotta tell you, man, I advise against you going. I know it sucks, and I know you want to go. He's like, but if you see the stuff that's coming through the hospital, man, like you wouldn't want to do that, man. Like it's just not worth it. And I was like him, and I think like 3 people like reached out to me and told me like, man, like yo, it's not a good look. Don't do it. So I was like, all right, man, I don't want to be hard headed and like contract something. So
yeah, I don't. Man, if everybody would, I don't know. I read something today that said it doesn't work like this, but you would think that if everybody just stayed home for their 2 weeks or whatever, everybody that has the virus, they could get them help and stuff, and then everybody would know, okay, I've been quarantined for 2 weeks. I don't have it. Nobody in our house has it. So now everybody that doesn't have it currently is free to move about.
Yeah.
But I read something today. I didn't read the whole article. I was kind of pressed for time, but it said it doesn't work like that. So I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, but I mean, it sucks not being able to go anywhere, or I was telling my wife last night or the other night that we haven't been out on a date night since like November or December. Just with her work schedule lining up with mine, and being able to get a babysitter and stuff. I was like back in March, I was like, oh, it's only been a few weeks since we've been out. Then I happened to see an Instagram post from the night we were out, like, man, November 27th or whatever the date was. Like, man, it was a lot longer than I thought.
Yeah.
It was. So, it'd be nice to be able to go out, and, I haven't seen you in a long time, even though we make plans and stuff, and something comes up, and then, I haven't seen anybody. Kids can't play with their friends.
Yep.
At least on my block, for the most part, all the kids they're all outside playing. It's been nice here a couple of days the last week. And everybody's outside playing, but everybody's playing in their own yard. For the most part.
Yep.
And they're just kind of looking, I'd like to go across the street and play with them. And well, you can't, because, what if they're sick, or what if you're sick, or,
and they don't get it so much, like, or they forget, like, oh yeah, that's right, we can't do that. Like, I know others will ask to do something, and it's like, oh, like, did you forget you're not going to school? There's a reason you're not going to school. And what is crazy about that is that, like you said, it's been nice out. I've been trying to get out around the neighborhood. I went for a walk today, actually, for like 30, 45 minutes. But yesterday, when I took a break, I went and walked up the street and back down. But when I was walked up the street, there's the daycare up there.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I heard kids outside playing. So I was like, man, I wonder how that all works out. Like, how many, is it like a limit on the kids who can be?
I think they have to be no more than 10 kids or something like that. And they've got to keep only 10 kids together, and it has to be the same 10 kids or something like that. Because, people need their daycare. Chris and I, we're both essential. We've got to go to work. So originally our daycare lady, we had an in-home daycare. Great. She's great. But she says, you guys have traveled within this is when we went to Houston. You guys have traveled. You've got to stay home for 14 days before I'll take you back. So, like, oh crap. So what are we going to do? Right. So we hired a 15-year-old girl from our neighborhood. She's going to watch the kids for 2 weeks till we can go back to our regular sitter. So she was here the first week. It's 3 days. I gave her $250 for the week. She was excited, man. 15 years old and getting $250 in cash. You're ready to go. So her dad called me, and he goes, I understand you guys are in a jam. And he goes, I've been checking the hospitals and stuff. He goes, I can't have, especially since Kristen's a nurse, I can't have her bringing something home and getting his daughter sick. He goes, I'm a 40-year smoker, cancer survivor. I cannot have her bringing it home. And he goes, I need you to let me know if anybody sick comes through the hospital. And he goes, I'm going to have to take her out of there. I said, I totally get it. Totally understand. And at that point, we had completed 1 week, and we only had one more week to go. She only had 3 days of work, to get through. I'm like, okay, we can do this. That was like on Thursday. Well, Sunday we get a text from our regular sitter, and she goes, I made the tough decision. I'm going to close effective immediately. This was like Sunday at like 3:00 in the afternoon. So we were supposed to go the next morning. They were going the next day.
Yeah.
It was 2 days later for us. But I'm assuming there was people that had to go to work the next day.
Right.
And she goes, I'm closed effective immediately. I'm sorry, but, to protect my family and yours, which I understand. She also had one guy I don't know what he does, but he comes to pick his kid up in Scrubs. So I'm assuming he works in a hospital. I'm not sure doing what, but
yeah.
And then there's like a restaurant worker in there. And then the other girl is like a real estate or a mortgage officer or something. And so we're scrambling, And we reached out to our old babysitter who had just put something on Facebook like the day before or maybe 2 days before and said something about somebody dropping a bomb on her. And I was reading through the comments, and it said basically somebody had pulled their kids out of her daycare. We used to, when we first had our oldest, we took her there. We'd known her kids, or her youngest is a sophomore in college now, and we watched her when she was like 6 months old. So we've known him a long time.
Yeah.
But Jen had got a different, she decided she didn't want to do daycare anymore, got a different job. That's when we found our current girl. But then she didn't like the other job, or they didn't keep her. And then, so she's back doing daycare. So I just sent her a text. I said, hey, we're in a tough spot. Is there any chance you could take our 3? My phone rings almost immediately. She says, bring them over. And so I was asking her, I said, is there any risk that you're going to close? And she says, no, I've got 3 other nurses' kids here, plus an Omaha police officer, plus a Nebraska state trooper. She goes, everybody's essential. So unless I or somebody in my family gets sick, I'm going to be open. So luckily we've been able to find care for our kids so that we can continue to go to work.
Right.
I imagine that there's other people in tough situations where they can't find anybody, where they don't trust anybody, or, the Postal Service had granted us like emergency dependent care, where they were going to allow us to take up to 80 hours of leave. If we had our own leave time, they weren't going to pay us if we didn't have the time. Right. But without counting it against us, if we got into a tough situation where we needed care. So I was pretty thankful. We haven't had to take advantage of that, but it was there if we needed it. So I would hope that other companies and businesses that can afford to would be understanding, or not penalize people if they had to stay home with their kids, because this is unprecedented for nobody's got a backup plan for a pandemic.
Yeah. And I complain about my about my job a lot, man. But I said, I gotta be honest, man. I'm fortunate to have a job where they were able to allow us to work from home in a real short period of time. So I mean, that's been cool, especially with Mitzi not working. So I mean, I'm fortunate to be in that situation for sure. And I've been working OT and stuff because I'm like, dude. Before I was like, I'm not working any OT, but now that it's right here at my house and I don't have to leave, it's so easy just to jump on the computer for a couple hours.
Yeah.
Like, I'm doing these crazy hours like in the middle of the night just because I happen to be up at midnight, so I'll jump on for 3-4 hours and do some work. Like, might as well be making money, man. Like, I'm not doing anything else. Like, so and a big thing too is without me going to jiu-jitsu, we have all this extra time where I'm not really doing anything. Oh, I don't want to sit and watch TV that long.
Did you go to jiu-jitsu every day or a couple times a week, or pretty much
every day? So it's definitely it was a part of my routine, and it's hard to get into that groove of going so much. But now that I'm not doing it, it's like it's nice some days because I don't have that responsibility of having to go somewhere. Like, it'd be like get off of work, get the girls ready, and then go straight to the dojo. And then I'm there until 7:30, And then on the night, Wednesday nights, when they wouldn't be there, I'll be there until 8:30. So, I mean.
Yeah, you got all kinds of extra time now because that's
Yeah. And it's like I can do stuff like this. I can podcast. I can go and jump on the computer and do some overtime because the overtime was unlimited. So, I'm gonna try not to worry so much about getting back and just be ready when it's time, but take this time to do whatever else I need to make a small guy.
Do you think that they're going to let you work from home after this is over?
You know, man, that was my hope. I'm like, we're doing it's been such a smooth process. Like, why not?
Or maybe a day or two a week or something like that.
Something. I mean, they gave us a monitor and a tower and everything. So, like, there's some people who went out. You know, I know a lot of people were saying that Nebraska Furniture Mart and Best Buy are out of a lot of monitors and computers and
Oh,
stuff.
really?
Because people on my team even were going out and buying equipment to work from home. I was just using my laptop those first few days, and then they told us that, hey, you guys can come out and get like a monitor and one tower and whatnot. So they hooked us up, and I'm like, I'm good with that. Like, I don't need to buy anything else.
Those people that bought stuff are probably so mad.
Well, yes and no, because they end up giving us a stipend.
Oh, okay.
So and it's tax free, and it was on our last check. So it well would cover, whatever they probably bought, unless they bought like a whole setup with like an office chair and that was super expensive and an actual computer or something. But I think for the most part, people were probably covered. I mean, they might have even had a little left over if they did go out and buy a chair. So I was lucky. Missy brought a chair from the chair that she uses at the church. She brought that home for me because these dining room chairs were not comfortable after 8 hours. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, man, I was super fortunate, and I will never downplay that part of working where I work. At least I'm able to still provide, man. That's the biggest thing. So
I'm super thankful that we both still have jobs. We don't have to worry about paying the bills, paying the mortgage, being able to buy food.
yep.
I've been when we've probably been getting food, like takeout food, at least once a week.
Yeah.
And I always tip when I do that.
Yep.
But I've been tipping extra, more than I normally would because, those servers, they're still putting their food together, putting it, and I don't know how they're sharing. I'm assuming they're probably pooling the tips and everybody's splitting it evenly at the end of the night or something.
Yeah.
But and it's something small, but it's something I can do, to be thankful and just help in a little way that they're not making their regular amount of money that they probably would be. So, we're thankful. I'm thankful for sure that we don't have to worry about where our next meal is coming from, or if we have to choose between buying groceries or paying the light bill, or
Yep. And that's what it is, man. I feel the same. Like we had actually been eating out. I'm the Omaha fatty, so
I was gonna ask you earlier when I knew I was coming on, like, how are you surviving without being able to go out?
Man,
multiple times a week.
We still been getting it in, man. Like I've tried Morian's Grill at the American Legion.
How is that? I see them on Facebook all the time.
It was pretty good. It was pretty good. Yeah, I'd eat there again for sure. Jimbo's Diner was super good. So I mean, we're still getting takeout and stuff. Golden Bowl. El Vallarta, Vietnamese shop, Grecian Euros, all the stuff. We're still just getting stuff to go. I mean, and like you're saying, man, I've been tipping more, and then I'm like, man, I gotta slow down because these tips. I mean, I'm spending $60-$70, sometimes when I'm going out, and I'm like,
the last night we got those street taco. It was from Mula. I don't know if you like street tacos and taco truck. It's they call it a tequila-ria, I think is how you say it. But they specialize in street tacos. So it was for two kinds of tacos. They had like a limited menu. So when you order tacos, you got 4 of each kind, 2 things of queso and 2 margaritas, and it was like $80-something. Whoa! But that's a local business. They're not a chain or a franchise or anything like that. And I mean, we drove it. They're in Blackstone, so that I drove a ways to get it, but it was good. I still got a couple tacos left over. I'm gonna eat after we get off the call here.
Nice.
But yeah, I tipped extra extra on that because, you know, they brought it. I didn't have to get out of the car. They brought it out to the car.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I'm sure those people are thankful that they're getting anything, you know, because a lot of times when I first started doing takeout, I'm like, I'm not tipping, you know, they're not bringing me my food. And then I knew some people that had served before and that kind of thing. And I'm like, okay. So I usually tip like 10 to 15%, you know, because somebody had to put it in the container. Somebody had to get the container, put them in the bag, make sure there was silverware or whatever. But I've been tipping 20% and above, you know, now sometimes there's not an option for that, but because, you know, you know, I don't really know anybody that's still in the serving industry. We had some friend's daughter who did that for a long time, but you know, they're somebody's kid. You know, they got to worry about paying their light bill or where they're going to eat food from, or you know, whether they've got to worry about paying their rent or is their landlord going to evict them, or you know.
Yep.
So it's a small gesture, but you know, it's something we're able to do at this time.
Yeah. Well, and see with Mitzi, like way back in the day, like before we even got married, like I wasn't really a tipper. And, you know, she helped me understand that in the service industry, you know, because of what she does, sometimes you're depending on tips. So we always, I mean, unless the service wasn't good, we always would tip 20%. And now, man, I think I just got margaritas the other day, and it was like, I got like 3 of them, and it was like $27. I think I gave them like 10 bucks. Yeah, and $10 on that. I was just like, man, all right. So I just been trying to do 10 to 15. I think I even gave $20 when we spent 40. So it was like half of the bill one time. I think that was at Los Tapatios. So I don't know. I probably spent over $100 in tips, like since this all started, man. So I'm like, yeah, we need to. I love eating out, man, but and I love trying to support and help, but we got to slow down a bit too at the same time.
Well, especially if Mitzi's not working right now, you never know.
Yeah, that's the thing. Or even like last year, like, you know, it's tax season. I looked at how much I spent, and this is us when we've gone out of town and stuff for jujitsu, we've eaten. You know, I put that on the business account and whatnot, and I spent over $2,000 on food and entertainment last year. So I'm like, man, that's why I don't make any money from my side businesses, because I'm always like,
you're putting it right back in.
Yeah. So it's not like I'm at a point where I'm getting paid to do anything when it comes to the food stuff. So all the stuff that I make with Small Guy, I put it back into Omaha Fatty. So it's just like, whatever, it's a wash. So
yeah, it allows you a little bit of fun money and
yeah, man.
At least covers that instead of having to take it out of your regular paycheck, you know.
Yeah, and sometimes we do too. Like, you know, I've been trying to make sure that I just keep the receipts if we do it from the personal account and stuff. So, but like we said already, man, it's supporting local. I mean, a lot of times if we are eating out, it is local. So it's whatever, man. We're gonna be all right one way or another. Like whatever.
And you know, the chains and stuff, most of them, even though they're a chain, they're still a local person that owns that. That's, you know, going to sponsor a soccer team or, you know, do whatever they can in the community.
Yeah,
so
yeah, all that type of stuff.
Yeah. Like I know when I was listening to that podcast from John from Golden Bowl.
Yeah.
And, you know, he said he sponsored soccer teams and, you know, done other things, you know.
Yeah.
So there's somebody, even though it may be a chain, I know he's not a chain, but there's somebody local that, you know, kids go to school and they buy soccer stuff, or, you know, they send their kid to dance lessons, and, you know.
Or even if not that, man, there's still all the people that work there are local. So, I mean, it's still at some point impacting local people. So.
Even if you go to Applebee's and you have to, that waitress or person that runs it out to your car, they still need to put gas in their car or buy their groceries, or, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And so, you know, I think it's nice too, just to show them that they are appreciated for you know, like the guy who told you thank you, man. Like people notice that you're out there, especially if you're a person who gets to work from home. Like, dude, those times that you talked about leaving, aside from work, those are the only times that I'm leaving at all. I'm only leaving to go get groceries. I'm only leaving to go and get food. I haven't left the house aside from that. We did drop some fish off because since there's no fish fries, the church had a bunch of fish that they were selling. So Mitzi bought some, and we dropped some off to my aunt. That was it. Other than that, we haven't been anywhere. So we appreciate people.
It's kind of funny. When I deliver the mail, I walk door to door. So I don't know where your mail is like at home if you got a box on the street or something. But
we got the 4.
Okay. See, I'm going up to people's door, so a lot of times I'll catch them if they're working in the yard or that kind of thing. Mowing the grass or planting flowers or whatever, and washing the car. Today I talked to a lady who was washing the car. But I've seen a lot of people that I've never seen before.
Yeah.
Because they're working from home. This guy today, and usually I would catch people on a Saturday a lot of times, but a lot of times not, because they're running to ball games and dance practice and then they've got to go to the store, So there have been some people that I'd never seen before, and so I ran into this guy. It's probably been a week or two, and I found out he's a teacher at the middle school. I had no idea,
right.
And I talked to him for a few minutes and asked, this was before school was canceled, and asked him if he thought they were going to be going back to school or, what he was doing for his kids. And he was building a retaining wall, so he said, I did my lesson plans and now I'm building a wall. But I had never seen him before. I knew the name because I delivered their mail and stuff, but I had no idea what he did or, Found out his wife's a nurse too, and he teaches. I think he said he teaches history at the middle school.
Nice.
So people are home that aren't usually home, and I might be like a different face that they get to see once in a while besides their own family,
Yeah. Hey, and speaking on that, man, I have been thinking about this. What is something like a nice thank you for your mail person, your mail carrier? Like, I was like, should I throw like a can of soda in the mailbox and like a
man? All right, so the official policy on that is we are not allowed to accept cash or cash equivalent, meaning gift cards.
Yeah.
We are allowed to accept small gifts in the amount under 20 or 25 bucks. So like a can of pop or a cold bottle of water or something is awesome, especially in the summer.
Yeah.
Keeping the sidewalk shoveled and the driveway shoveled. For me, I'm walking up to the house. That's the best thing anybody could do for me. Once in a while I'll get somebody that will, like if there's snow on the ground, they'll shovel a path like from the house next door to them up to their house, and then so I can, I've got to walk across the grass, so I don't have to step up, and that's like the best thing anybody could do. A cold bottle of water, soda, and that's awesome.
Okay, cool.
I had come up on this porch. It's probably been about 2 weeks. But somebody had drawn the Postal Service logo in chalk on the sidewalk.
I saw it. And
man, that was awesome. There was that, and then yesterday when I delivered the elderly home or whatever, elderly apartments, there was a lady that had wrote a note on there and just left it in her mailbox so that I would see it, and it said, "Thank you for showing up, and we appreciate what you do and stuff." And that was pretty cool, People are taking notice, I guess, of that. So, to me, I'm just showing up and doing my job. What I've been doing for 16 years.
Right.
Thank you, and I get a paycheck. That's my thank you.
Right.
But it's cool when some people take time out of their day to recognize or
acknowledge
acknowledge that they get to stay home and not worry about getting sick, where some of us are out here, you know. I got an ice maker over on the counter.
Oh, I've never heard that before. Where's that coming from?
No, it's like a bar ice maker.
Oh.
So it's telling me it's out of water. I got to fill it up so I can make more ice. But it's nice to be recognized, even though, you know, to me it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
I'm just showing up, and the real heroes are the police and fire and the nurses and doctors and stuff, you know. But
man,
you know, like that one guy told me, he says, from the outside looking in, you know, you're showing up and doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Hey, you play a role too, man.
Yeah, you know, again, to me, it's nothing special, but you know, the grocery store workers and those kind of people are out there coming into contact with people and don't have the gloves and the masks, and you know, they're big role players too.
I thought about that today at Walmart, man. Like, cause like half of the staff had face masks and gloves, and half didn't have any face masks, and I'm like, there's so many people at this Walmart, man. Like, these people could be making, and I know retailers are like trying to do right by employees and paying them a couple extra bucks an hour and stuff. But I'm like, if you actually did something because you were working,
your extra $80 for a week's worth of work is nothing, you know.
Yeah.
$80 an hour for 40 hours. I felt bad. I was trying to reach for some deodorant, and because that's an essential thing, you know. I need that for sure. There was these two girls stocking the shelves right there, and I had to kind of reach around them, and I felt bad. I was like, you know, can I get in there? And you know, because I forgot my mask, and I didn't have, you know, that on, and I just kind of, can I get in there and grab the deodorant because I kind of need it, you know. I try to stay out of people's way, and especially the workers. They've got to show up and be there. So, you know, they've got bills to pay and food to buy for themselves. So just the least we can do as the general public is just try to not get them sick, you know.
Dude, I walked so fast through that Walmart today, man. Like, and still, it wasn't fast enough because somebody in the Walmart wanted to talk to me. And I'm like, why are you talking to me of all days? Why?
Somebody that you knew, or
no, just
because you run into people everywhere you go that you know.
Yeah, but it was just some guy who was also looking at the paper products, and he decided to talk to me about toilet paper, and I'm like, dude, like, why? And then like when I figured that I was in the paper towel side instead of the toilet paper side. After he was talking to me, I went to turn around, and there was these people like right in my face. I'm like, why are you right behind me, man? Like, back up.
Yeah, and so I thought this was the first time I'd been to Walmart since they were supposed to do these new restrictions or something like that. So I was expecting there to be a line outside, and I pulled up. This was about 4:30, 4:45. So I pulled up. I mean, I had to park a little ways away, but not too far. And I was able to get right in. I had to go through the little maze that they have, the maze of carts. The guy was standing there, and I go, "Oh, are you counting people?" And he goes, "Yep." So I went in, and it was packed in there.
Yeah, it was.
So I don't know what I thought it was like 5 people for every 1,000 square feet or something like that is what they were going to allow in the store. But there was, maybe I'm wrong, but it was a ton of people in there.
Yeah, it was. I couldn't believe it. Like, when I pulled up, I was like, man, the parking lot is decently packed. And as soon as I walked in through those that second set of double doors, I was like, am I really about to go in here right now? Because I see a lot of people. Like, I almost turned around, but I was like, well, I know Mitzi wants toilet paper. So I took the path of like least exposure, where like over in the bakery where there wasn't like a lot of people. So I just dipped out to the side, and then I was like, all right, let me power walk through here real quick. So
did you get toilet paper though?
I did, man. Of course, they got the limit of one pack, and there was some Continental. That was all that was there, and I was like, man, I heard people talking about prices being marked up and stuff, and there was no price mark, so I didn't know how much it was going to be, and I was like, dude, if this thing is like $10, I'm gonna be pissed off. But it was like it was less than $8, but it was all that they had, man. So,
It's kind of, everybody's got their preferences to what they like, but it's desperate times, man.
yeah. I mean, and which we don't get anything fancy. Like I said, we just use the members mark because it's at Sam's Club. So, whatever.
I gotta we buy the nice stuff because I gotta take care of myself. But, it's worth it to pay a little extra for me. But if we were desperate, we'd have to buy what was there.
Yep. And we're not, but I was like, you never know what's gonna happen, man. So worst case scenario, we go back in another 2 weeks and buy another roll or pack or something. I don't know. But
I have not seen it in the store since I bought it that time at Target. That was before, that was like March 10th or 11th, 12th, something like that. So it's been almost a month since I've looked every time I go to the store.
Yep.
Just in case. But today Walmart had a ton of paper towels.
Yeah, they got crazy amounts of paper towels. We still got a big pack from Sam's. So
the time before that, I bought some. I can't remember where I was. Maybe it might have been Walmart. I don't know. I bought a 6 roll pack or something the time before because we didn't need them yet, but I hadn't seen them. I hadn't seen those either. So I thought, well, I better buy while I can. So I bought 1 pack. But today they were stocked up on that. So
yeah, I've been seeing paper towels, but yeah, I do remember when it first, because the dojo was next to Family Fair in Bellevue. The first time that they had started talking about all this COVID and people were taking the toilet paper, I took video because they were stocking the toilet paper one day, and the next day that I went in, it was like all gone, and I was like, seriously? And then, like, I saw this dude, like, I don't know if he was getting wipes because there was no toilet paper, but he had a bunch of, like, baby wipes in his cart. And I was just like, what is going on right now, man? Like, and you hear him say that there's no shortage. There's just people, like, buying and buying and buying. So, like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I saw a commercial for toilet paper last night, I think, and it said, we'll get the stores stocked or something like that. And it's like, okay, it's been a month, something's got to happen. And then, like you said, it might be stock. They might be coming in every day, but people are buying it all every day.
Yep.
So it's hard to tell,
We got our lawn, a guy from our dojo, we had him come over. He's got a lawn care business. We had him come over and do some weed seed today. And they were telling me that, like, Sam's Club gets a shipment around noon. So I got there, it was afternoon. I think I got home just a little bit after 1. So I probably just missed the rush of people.
Well, yeah, I guess if you saw people in there with it in their cart.
Yep. I saw so many people. I was like, I'm going to be good, man. They must got toilet paper. And got back there and I was like, come on, bro. So, and that, those are the big economy size ones, so like it would have lasted for a while, but whatever.
They might not be able to get it. My brother, who works at that pharmacy store, last week he goes, okay, they get a truck every 2 weeks, he told me. And so last week he said, okay, truck's coming. If it's on there, what do you need? So I told him toilet paper, Clorox wipes if you got them, that kind of thing. And there was one other thing. Flushable wipes, and he goes, 0 for 3. He goes, they send us stuff we already have.
Yeah.
Because, and I'm guessing probably because that's all they can get. But he's telling me that they sold like 40 thermometers. They got a shipment of 40 thermometers. I go, you probably didn't sell 40 thermometers in 6 months. And he goes, we got them, and then they were gone.
Dude, it's time to invest in companies like Johnson & Johnson and their quarter numbers are going to be great probably next quarter. So
I know I heard a thing today that like Costco has just smashed their first quarter, and man, there's going to be all these people with all this stuff that they can't use or they'll never use or
it's like it's just stocked up in your house. Did you hear about the person in Tennessee? He bought like 17,000 bottles of hand sanitizer.
Yeah, they took it from him.
Yeah. Like, come on, bro. How are you gonna try to do that and mark up the price and selling it for $70 a bottle?
Yeah,
It's ridiculous, man.
That's one thing we haven't had to use or haven't had to look for is hand sanitizer. Because like my girls, for every Christmas and Easter and Halloween, everything, they get a little thing of hand sanitizer. So
Yeah.
we're stocked up on that.
Yeah, we're good. We're good too. I know our neighbor down the street. She came to the housewarming party, or no, maybe it was my birthday party, and she got me a bag with some like Dove chocolates in it, and then it also had like 4 or 5 of those little bottles of hand sanitizer. So we're good. But
Yeah,
they say you got to have that 60%. It's got to be 60% alcohol. So
yeah, I don't know what it is. It's whatever Bath and Body Works has. I assume it works. And
yeah. Oh yeah, I don't know. Well,
it's,
shoot, man.
it smells girly, but it'll kill anything.
Hey man, Bath and Body Works. I love that stuff. That country apple or whatever it is. I don't know. It's something that smells really good that we always used to have for washing our hands. Uh, but I was gonna say, man, we've been talking for like an hour, man.
Is it really?
Yeah, man, it's gone fast. See, you can tell.
It's because I haven't seen you in a long time.
I know, yeah. And that fellas' night, that was the last time that you're saying we hadn't been able to get out to do anything. That was the last thing that I did that I went out. I think.
Yeah, and I was gonna try to. That was what, like the end of February, maybe.
Maybe, yeah. It was a Friday night.
Yeah, I was.
It was right
Friday's
before
tough
you
for
was on
me,
the
but
spectrum.
yeah, and my oldest had gymnastics that night. It just didn't work out that I wasn't able to come, and then it hit the fan, and
Family life, bro. Family life.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, shoot, man. I don't want to take any more of your time. I know Kristen's sitting over there chilling.
She's playing her bubble tap or something on her phone.
Tell her I'm gonna interview her too.
I just before you get off here, I just got to throw a disclaimer out. Anything I said about work, I don't speak for anybody else or any entity. Only speak for myself. That was my opinion based on my individual experience. And so, just to kind of that's what I've experienced at work. Other people may have different experiences, and
Sure.
I just don't want to blanket everything, but that's just what I've experienced and seen.
Right.
So.
Yeah, man. Well, hopefully we'll be able to hang out in the near future and not have to be on quarantine. So
yeah, I got this nice basement here that nobody's seen it because it's done, but it's
Oh man, yeah. In due time. We just gotta be patient. So, all right, man. Well, any tips that you have for like your customers, your clients, on your route?
Just if you're able to shovel the snow. It's supposed to snow tomorrow.
Yeah.
I don't have a ton of steps on my route, but there are people that do. And if you leave the snow on your steps, it's okay probably the first time or two that, the mail carrier goes up the steps to deliver the mail. But after that, it kind of melts and refreezes and that kind of thing. It gets real dangerous. So that's probably like my number one tip or request, or that'd be the best thing you could do is we like to give you the service that people deserve. So if you can help us out in any way, that's it's more of a hassle for us to bring the mail back to the station because it's unsafe to deliver.
Right.
Versus actually just putting it in the box and getting it to and most people think they're getting junk or whatever, but there may be a check in there may be a birthday card or a Valentine's card, or so you never know what you're going to get that day. And if you offer us a cold drink on a hot day, we'll take it most of the time. Bottle of water, a can of soda. And we don't have a ton of time to talk. We're tracked by GPS. But if you get a chance to say hello and it's kind of nice to be able to put a face with, we've been coming to your house every day for however long, and it's nice to
Right.
put a face. And um, we're in the neighborhood every day. So um, if you ever have a lost dog, or, hey, that dog lives at that house, that kind of thing. So we're out there. I had a family stop me. It was probably in January, maybe. They had a girl who was, I think, autistic, somewhere along that realm, and she had got out of the house and nobody realized it for a little while. And so they happened to run into me, and I hadn't seen her, but they gave me information, who to call if I would come across her. And actually the cops were there, and they talked to me, and I told them I hadn't seen anything, but I got the info if I do actually see her. So we're out in the neighborhood, loose dogs. We can kind of help get them back home sometimes, if we know that that's the dog, they live at that house or whatever.
Supposed to like dogs? Just joking.
It actually depends. Some dogs are nice, and some would like to take a bite out of us. So it's usually the ones that the owner says, "Oh, don't worry, they just lick you to death." Those are the ones we got to watch out for, I saw a dog yesterday, and I hadn't seen him. I would come up to the house every day, and they got this huge window, floor to ceiling window, like right in the front. And I see the dog laying there every day. He doesn't bark at me, nothing like that. But he was out front with the owners yesterday. They were washing cars, I think. And it's a white, like, lab or something. And so I walked up, and the girl comes to get the. He was tied up, but she came to get the mail from me. And I said, he's fine. And I go, what's his name again? I said, I know it's something to do with the winter. Frosty? She goes, no, Polar. And I went, oh, Polar. She goes, oh, Frosty would have been a good name though too. But so I think the thing with the dogs is, what I've heard is, the dogs think they're chasing us away every day. We come up to the house, they bark at us, and we go away. They don't realize that we've done our job. In the meantime, we've put the mail in the box or in the slot or whatever. So they just get kind of hyper, and okay, he's back again today, so I got to bark more,
Yeah.
And then we turn around and leave, and then come back the next day, and so they're doing their job. I don't hold that against the dogs. It's the owners that don't think their dog is going to come after us, or we really don't want to get bit. I mean, it hurts.
Right.
It's paperwork to fill out.
Right.
It's not ideal. So if you can, I had a older lady that I had a package for, and I rang the doorbell, and she came, and she was fighting the dog and trying to take the package from me at the same time. Well, the dog got past her, and came up and got me in the leg, so it's a hassle. So the dog was doing what he's supposed to do. He's defending his territory and stuff. And if she would have put the dog away before she opened the door, or just said,
Right.
"Hey, set it down and walk away," and then waited until I left to get the pet, it could have been avoided. So the dogs are doing what dogs do, So I like dogs. We used to have dogs.
Yeah.
We don't anymore for allergy reasons, but I came across that dog yesterday, Polar, and petted him, and he loved it, and I scratched his ears, and so I got nothing against the dogs. It's the owners probably.
Right on.
They're not careful,
Makes
And
sense.
I can see, like, our next door neighbors' dogs. They let them run loose. They're little Yorkies, nice dogs. But there was a girl running down the street the other day, and the dog goes running after her. Just Ray, she came across the house, and then the lady that lived there yelled at her and yelled at the dog, and he came back, but the girl didn't know he was going to come back, or So I made me kind of sensitive to that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know. So, you know, it's the time that I got bit the worst and needed a stitch to keep a wound closed. The lady couldn't believe that the dog bit me. She was moving out and had left the front door open for the movers to carry stuff out.
Yeah.
And I go up and I delivered the mail, and I turn around and the dog comes walking right out the front door. And it was like I don't know what kind of, it was, I don't know, a pit bull looking dog. I don't know, some kind of terrier type dog. And came up and started sniffing me, and they teach us to put our bag between us and the dog. And I did that while he jumped and reached over the bag and got me in the arm. And I was bleeding. My arm was covered with blood, and I yelled at him, and he turned around and went back in the house. And I'm kind of standing there, and the movers, they were like college kids, and go, "Oh, I thought that only happened on the movies and TV." And the lady comes out, and I had no idea where I was bleeding. I just knew my arm hurt. So we went over and hosed it off and found where I was bleeding so I could hold pressure on it. She goes, "I can't believe he did that to you." She goes, "I've had painters and carpenters and other people in the house, and they never bother." And I said, "Well, he comes up and he sees me at the window every day, and he just wants to get a shot at me before you move, I guess. I don't know." And so, you know, they sent me to the hospital, and I went to the emergency room and got a stitch to keep it closed. And, you know, I think I might even went back to work that day, you know. So I would just, you know, if people could be mindful about your dog, and you might be at work when we come every day, so you don't see how crazy the dog goes when we show up. And,
yeah.
you know, on a Saturday you might be home and yell at the dog, "Stop barking!" And well, he's, you know, and he feels like we're antagonizing him because we come up, and, you know, he's just trying to chase us away.
Yeah.
So, but for me personally, I've got nothing against dogs. I do know some carriers that just hate them. So.
Oh, well, I can understand that, man. I can understand that. But yeah, man, that's what it is, man. Thank you for being on, man. It was good to see you. Good to talk to you, man. Again, I hope it's not too long before we can hang out again. And I'm gonna hit Kristen up too to see if she wants to get on and sit down for a podcast at some point. I don't know how she is in front of the camera, but
It should be better looking than me for sure. Better for your ratings on camera, at least.
You're pretty hot, Pat. Well, all right, man. I'll go ahead and cut it here. And as I end all of our episodes of What's Up Omaha, smile, help someone else smile, laugh and help someone else laugh all day, every day. Yeah. Hey, thanks, Pat, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you got it, man.
All right, man.